Are you ready to break an entrepreneurial sweat? Get revved up for success with Business Bootcamp Podcast. And your host, Mike Andes.
Hey everyone, this is Mike Andes. You're listening to the Business Bootcamp Podcast. Today is episode 115. We're going to be talking about the 3 ways to market and which ones are the most effective for your business. Now, before we get started, I do want to say a big thank you to our sponsor for today's episode, which is FreshBooks. FreshBooks is a cloud accounting software system that is offering us all a free trial for 30 days. So if you go to freshbooks.com/bootcamp, they're giving all of us bootcampers a free 30-day trial. You don't have to put your credit card information or anything in. You just put your email in, they give you your username, and you can try it out for 30 days. And what I love so much about FreshBooks is also how they allow you to do credit card payments, but it's so seamless. And so they accept all credit cards like Visa, MasterCard, American Express, all of that. And you write from the invoice, a customer can pay with credit card. They just enter in their information and it goes through and then automatically marks the invoice as paid. So you on your end don't have to open up a check, take it to the bank. It just saves you so much time. And I think the whole premise behind FreshBooks and keeping track of all your expenses and everything online and in the cloud is the efficiency. And I think if you want to build a sustainable, lean business, it's got to be so efficient. Like we have a business and we might only have 5-6 employees, but we will make more net profit than companies that have 10 to 15 employees because we're so efficient with our routing, with our tracking expenses, invoicing, all of these things that allow you to bring more profit to the bottom line. So big thank you to FreshBooks. Make sure you check it out at freshbooks.com/bootcamp. Now, also, I do want to say a big thank you to everyone leaving reviews on iTunes for the show. If you do leave a review, I am sending you a free copy of the book, Millennial Millionaire, The Young Entrepreneur's Guide to Breaking Out of the Middle Class. All you got to do is just send me a screenshot to the email. Send me an email with a screenshot of you putting an iTunes review on there, and I will get that to you. We are also on Stitcher now, so if you don't like using iTunes or something like that, feel free to download Stitcher, and we are on there as well. Now, I've been busy this past week. We've had a camera crew in at the lawn care and landscaping business the past couple days, and we have another shoot next week, putting together landscapebusinesscourse.com. So we've been working on that, super excited to get that going and off the ground. And when we've been doing these videos, I guess one of the main things we've been talking about is marketing. And so today I wanted to talk about something we've been going over in the course quite in depth, and I wanted to speak about a little bit today on the 3 different types of marketing. And I really believe that all types of marketing will fall into 3 different categories, and we're going to talk about those today. The first one is educational, the second one is conversational, the third one is promotional. So all your marketing and promotional efforts can fall into these 3 distinct categories, and I'm going to tell you which ones are the most effective and when to use each. So the first category is educational, and educational is the most effective form of marketing. And what I mean by educational is when you become the market expert in your industry. So for instance, my very first mailer that I sent out for my lawn care business 3 years ago, well, a little over 2 years, 2.5 years ago now. The very first mailer I ever sent out, it wasn't promotional. It wasn't trying to get people to do sales or buy into lawn care or to buy into our services. It was all about trying to educate the consumer. So what we did is we had tips on the entire back side of this 8.5 by 11 on things like, for instance, your grass. You should never cut more than 1/3 of it off at any time. It just opens it up for insects and things like that, and then how to prune a tree correctly and what time to do it, and then explaining about like 16-16-16, which is your nitrogen, your phosphates, all that for fertilization and what times you should do that, and explaining the benefits of core aeration and thatching and all of those things. And so essentially what we did is we became the expert in the industry, so that whenever someone would think about our industry or need advice in and around their landscaping and lawn care, the natural progression was to call us or to use our services. Even though that marketing material, we never was promoting our company or asking for a sale or anything like that. It just had our contact information, our logo, and then presenting our brand in a way that we were the leading voice and expert in the field. And so we have never had a higher customer response rate or closing ratio to any mailer since then. That was our highest. We've tried similar stuff in the past, but my very first mailer was probably the most effective one I've ever had. And it was educational. And our response rate and then our conversion ratio is just so much higher than anything we've ever done since then. Now, the second form or second type of marketing that you can categorize your marketing efforts into is conversational. In my experience, we haven't had as effective hasn't been as effective as educational as far as closing ratios and everything. However, it's still very powerful. And what I mean by conversational is you're wanting to create a relationship with the client and consumer of the marketing material. And so, for instance, what we did last winter is I sent an 8.5 by 11 out to our target audience in like a certain kind of upscale area of our town. And on this 8.5 by 11, I didn't have like pictures and really nice. All I had was our logo in color. The rest was black and white text. And on the text, all I did was I introduced myself. We had just moved into our new retail location in their kind of general area, and so I was just introducing myself, saying, hey, this is what we do. We just moved into the area. We would love to help you in any way, shape, or form. If you need advice, if you don't know exactly what to do with your lawn care and landscaping, or you need materials delivered, just let us know. We're always here for you. Just really introduce myself on more of a level, even personally, just explaining who I am, what my business goals are, why we started the business, what our plans for the future are, and even just about what I like to do outside of business. And so the reason this was effective was because it began to create relationships via conversation with our potential customers, and so that they trusted us, and people buy from who they know, like, and trust. And so trying to build that know, like, and trust with that conversational marketing piece is essential to then later developing a buying relationship with that customer where they're going to come to you and get services and buy products. So that is the second, conversational. The third one is promotional. And I find that so many businesses spend way too much time in this category of marketing. And promotional is everything to do with sales and selling and trying to get discounts and buy three get one free and 25% off blowout discount this weekend only, Labor Day sales and things like that. Those are all promotional types of marketing. And what I have found is that promotional marketing has the lowest conversion rate and the lowest response rate out of all three of these categories of marketing. And the reason I believe that is simply because so many people do promotional marketing. It's so easy because you can just throw any sort of discount number or date for a big sale out there. And it's so constantly bombarded the consumer that they've become really dull to any sort of promotional marketing. Now, if you send a letter to someone and personally sign it and tell them all about yourself and who you are, they're going to read that. That's different. It sticks out. If it's educational, something that they can actually get value from, like content marketing, where they are going to it, getting free information, you become the expert in the field. Those are the more effective ways of marketing. And I think so often small businesses, we have a small budget and we need to be able to have a lot of bang for our buck. We can't just spend $1 million on an ad or thousands and thousands on a magazine cover. We got to look at what's the biggest ROI and really get specific on the demographic that we're sending our marketing materials to, whether it be print or whether it be online and all of these things, different forms of marketing online. And so what you got to remember is promotional is the least effective. And the reason is it's not just the least effective, you're also going to attract the less quality consumer. For instance, if you're doing buy 5 mows, get 1 free, you're going to attract the people who are trying to look for discounts, look for free mowings, for instance, my business, right? But you can apply it to your own as well. But then if you are not selling and you're becoming educational and you're telling about what they need to do it themselves, and empowering the consumer and not asking for the sale. You're going to become an expert in that field, and they will turn to you when they have questions, and they will turn to you when they need services done or they need a product that you offer, because they've built a trusting relationship with you by consuming your free content. Promotional is very much push, very much you're pushing them to go make the sale and go do this and go do that. Whereas the educational and conversational, there's no pressure. It's just you're telling them, you're offering them free information, you're building a relationship, and in hopes that later down the road they will come back and they will buy products and services from you. And what I've found is those customers who come to us from a marketing standpoint that was educational or conversational, not only is the conversion ratio higher and the response ratio higher, they also stick with us a whole lot longer because they've built a relationship. It wasn't built upon price, and that leads me to say also that typically the person that's going to come from an educational marketing piece or from a standpoint of educational or conversational, they are going to be willing to pay higher because they've built a relationship with you, and so they're not looking for discounts. They're not looking for the cheapest guy in town. They are looking to buy into a product, buy into a service, buy into a company that they know, like, and trust, and they built a relationship with, and they will stay with you regardless of all the promotional marketing that comes by their way from all your competitors, because they've built a relationship with you. So what I would recommend you to do, if all you've been doing is spending your time on marketing promotionally and sending out, get this for $10 off, and do this and get this for free, and have big blowout sales on this weekend, you are attracting customers that are price sensitive, that are cheaper, that will not stay with you as long, because their relationship with the business is built upon monetary value instead of relationship. And relationships, as we talked about in episode 114, is what drives sales. So focus on building relationships, and do that by focusing on educating consumers and creating conversations with them. That's it for today. I'm Mike Andy. You're listening to the Business Bootcamp Podcast. If you have questions on how to start, grow, or save your business, check out businessbootcamppodcast.com. Leave me a voice note on what you need done in your business to grow, or send me an email at businessbootcamppodcast@gmail.com. Again, this is Mike Andy, signing off.